wasn't used to the high elevation, or hiking for that matter. Warriors braved the elements traveling the globe on missions, and counselors stayed behind and researched. But they'd made the decision that today's mission was a case for both of them. It would require Theodore's sharp thinking and Guinevere's bravery and agility. "Are you ready for the climb, old man?" Guinevere asked him with a wink. He paused, his hands on his knees as he doubled over from the exertion. "It's true that I'm not as sprightly as I used to be, but I can do this all day long. I'm only taking it slow for your benefit." Guinevere laughed. "Speaking of things you can do for my benefit, try taking the word sprightly out of your vocabulary. Grown men really shouldn't say such things." Theodore's laughter echoed in the crisp autumn air. "Okay, my darling, what would you have me replace that word with? Perky, frisky, nimble, chipper?" Guinevere grimaced. "You've been hanging out with elves too much. You're starting to sound like them." "But hey, I'm not starting to smell like them, so that's a good thing," he joked. "Yes, please never give up daily showers like those hippie elves," Guinevere agreed. "Or the French," Theodore added, looking toward the ridge that marked the French border. "Do you think we'll make it before too long? I'm hoping to be back by the time the children awaken." Guinevere shot him a rebellious smile. "I will, but I'm not sure about you." He chuckled again. "I suppose if we're running behind, Ian will take charge for us." "Yes, he's grown very responsible over this year," Guinevere stated. "One day he'll make a fine counselor." Theodore nodded. "But not anytime soon. He needs a chance to see the world and explore before he's confined to the chamber of the tree." "They all do," Guinevere replied, referring to her other 4 children. "And they will. After we do this, we'll take them on a trip." Theodore shook his head. "You act like all we have to do is stroll up to the top of Matterhorn and flip a switch. And you act like disabling a signal broadcasting to all mortals' minds is rocket science." Theodore pursed his lips. "It definitely is science, and I'm not sure exactly how we're going to disable something the god-magician activated centuries ago." "Well, the only way to find out is to investigate." The elf Guinevere had questioned had been in a trance. Breaking into other people's minds without them knowing, it wasn't something she liked doing. But she'd come to realize that much of the history they were trying to uncover was locked away in the subconscious of magical creatures who had been on the earth for a long, long time. They might not remember the events before the Great War or the aftermath, but the memories were there if one knew how and where to look. The elf had said that he believed there were several ways a mortal could see magic again, the first of which was to be exposed to it in the purest forms. After learning this, Guinevere and Theodore had pieced things together, realizing that was one reason the council, or rather Adler Sinclair, was bent on cleaning up rogue sources of magic. Adler had said that it wasn't safe to have ghosts floating all over the planet, but the truth, they believed, was that ghosts were pure magical energy. If a mortal were to come in contact with one, the spell would be broken for them. That was why they'd been trapping the ghosts and consolidating the magic into the canisters, which somehow always disappeared, and Guinevere had yet to find them. The elf had also said that the constant exposure to magical creatures could, under the right circumstances and depending on the mortal, break down their walls, allowing them to see magic again. That meant that the spell placed on mortals long ago wasn't foolproof. Guinevere had learned early on that there were no absolutes with magic. No spell would work 100% of the time. Once a rule was made, say that the dead couldn't be brought back, someone would find a loophole. They were everywhere in this world, and that was what made it so beautiful and gorgeously complicated. Guinevere Beaufont wouldn't have it any other way. But there was one final safeguard that kept the shield up for most mortals, preventing many from knowing that magic existed. It was the signal broadcasting from the Matterhorn. What kind of signal, she and Theodore didn't know. Was it magical tech or an ancient artifact? That was also unclear. What the Beaufonts did know was that they had to disable it so they could break the spell. Then,